very well. Well, the economy is not doing very well. I see on commercial banks and saving institutions, and they cited in the media mostly for the $56 billion in profits that the FDIC insured commercial banks and savings institutions made in the first quarter, which was up 27% from a year ago. An estimated $6.6 billion of the profits were actually due to the tax law changes, and it remained mostly unmentioned that this increase in profits came after the huge charge-off banks took in the fourth quarter, mostly due to the write-downs of tax assets, also a result of the new tax law. Now, they didn't mention that at all. Now, these write-downs slashed bank profits in the fourth quarter to $25 billion, the worst quarter since the Great Recession. Now, the FDIC said the following: "We had an undue disruption to the financial system during the last downturn, and we don't want another one." So they said an undue disruption. Well, that's when banks stop lending. That's when credit freezes up in a credit-dependent economy. Everything then comes to a halt. Paychecks start bouncing. Deliveries stop. Everything stops because there's no credit. Credit freezes. And these warnings about the end of the credit cycle aren't coming out of the blue, because we've seen in other data that defaults in subprime auto loans and subprime credit card loans are already surging. These are early flags that the credit cycle has entered the next phase. We also see that individuals aren't taking out loans, because we've seen, and we reported on this, that this is declining. Mortgage applications are declining. Refinance applications are declining. We see all of this happening at the same time, which means we're heading down the same exact path that happened back when? Yes, right before the financial crisis of 2008. And the FDIC is out there warning everyone we don't want to have the same thing happen again. They're basically telegraphing that we're headed towards a credit crisis once again. Now, Russia, they are continually purchasing gold. They have added to their gold reserves. They are surging above 1,900 tons. They are the fifth largest in the world. And we see right now that they keep on adding gold. I mean, through April 2018, the Central Bank of Russia has added 2.3 million ounces of, or approximately 71.54 tons of gold. And they've been adding gold like crazy. Now, why are they adding all of this gold? Well, if it's a confidence booster. Because when the system breaks down and countries are scrambling, and also you have to remember the countries are repatriating their gold. There's a reason for all this. When countries are scrambling, when we're in this credit crisis, when we're in this financial calamity, what do? They look for something that's secure, that's they have confidence in. And throughout time, gold, silver, they are confidence boosters. That's why Russia and China have been purchasing as much as they possibly can. Now, they've been purchasing at a time when gold is very inexpensive because it's being manipulated and things like that. Does it mean they're going to back their currency? No, but they're going to say, listen, we can show you the gold. We have it. Here it is. You don't have to worry. If something happens, we have it. Compared to the United States, we don't know if they have the gold. There's been no audit. There's been nothing. So we have no clue if there is gold. Now, if there isn't gold, the United States is going to lose confidence in a split second. Other countries are going to look at this and say, okay, they came out with their quarterly report, the dollar. Now, remember, creating the entire system so they can break away from the dollar in a split second. They won't need the dollar at all. This is why everything's been duplicated. And they're saying that China and Russia, I know a lot of people think this is to happen. It really isn't. I mean, really think about it. This has been in the planning stage for quite a while. It's not like they just came up with it yesterday. Hey, let's duplicate everything. Let's create the Petro-Yuan. Let's buy all this gold, yesterday. Let's create the exchanges. Let's create the gold exchange. Let's have bilateral trades. They've been doing this for quite a while, years, just like in 1971. Do you think the U.S. just woke up one day and said, hey, listen, we're just going to cut off the gold from the rest of the world. They can't get their gold, and we're going to go on to the petrodollar because we just created it yesterday. No, they planned this all throughout the 60s. The whole thing was planned. They knew what they were doing. The same thing's happening right now. And this is why you need to be ready and prepared, because all of this has been planned for a very long time. All they're waiting for is to throw the switch. Once the switch is thrown, everything's going to switch over. The U.S. will no longer be the reserve currency. Now, of course, what they really wanted was an event, like a war, to cover this up, because that's great. You can have a war. After the war, you can say, hey, we need to restart the economic system. And during the war, you can say, you know what? Everyone has to sacrifice because we're in war. Everyone has to give a little. And this is the perfect excuse they use each time their system breaks down. The problem is that they don't have that right now. They're trying still to get it, but they don't have it. So they're kind of caught. And what do they do at this point? They can't control the narrative in that way. And if they can't control the narrative, how do they explain the economy, the global economy, breaking down when they've been telling us it's strong, everything is fine? This is their big problem. But no matter what, we're going to be going through this crash scenario. We're going to be going through this transition. So be prepared, get ready. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.
Islam, everybody has to just be prepared. That's the key to this. Everything that's going on right now is about being prepared. There's a lot of things that's going on globally. There's a lot of things that's going on in the world of economics and trust. And those of you that are actually participating in this trustee training session, you're going to be required to learn how to actually implement instruments and utilize private banking. Utilizing the formulas and foundational information that you've covered over these last 4 weeks in a workable structure. And so again, we got a lot of things to cover. And so with that being said, definitely get with those that can assist you more. Send me an email to bidzilbey if you got any questions over what you've heard in this training session. Those of you that are already engaging, we're processing the applications as fast as we're getting them and making sure that everyone gets what they need. There is a protocol for those that are actually already started submitting information, so you will be receiving a link where you can start uploading some additional things that will make sure that your structure is intact. For all those that are tuning in for the first time and want to know more or exercise more, you can also leave an email at bidzilbey@gmail.com. Make your request. We'll definitely link you up with those individuals that can assist you at getting on the right side of this thing. Remember, if you don't make a decision, one has already been made for you. And this information is meant not to spook you, but to prepare you. Things are definitely happening, and so we have to pay attention to those things. You know, I appreciate your time and energy. Those that want more of exclusive content of what you've heard thus far, continue to tune in to www.bezelbay.com. Go to the trustee section. Go to Trustee Training. Toggle on the links. You'll see a broadcast is actually broadcasting now on 365 Live, and also we have content that's being disseminated on Procaster. More of my mentor, Sharif Ali, Yusuf L, Soap L. Oh man, we got Gwen Wyckoff. You know, we got all the heavy hitters that's definitely giving you the business when it comes to trust. And then there's some civics information that you need to know also. That's also in the queue as well. So again, it's time to get it together. So trustees, you know what you got to do. And if you don't, then just reach out and touch someone. Send an email. Get with your prospective individual so we can get these things going. With that, I appreciate your time and energy. And with that, I'm going to say thank you. Good evening. Ashe. Islam. Without you guys, there will be no us. So as long as you keep doing what you're doing, we're not going nowhere. They said, for we perish for the lack of knowledge. But as long as you continue to listen, you'll definitely learn something. Islam family. Peace and love.